With Arsenal and Liverpool playing each other and injuries to some of FPL's biggest names, many are now asking, is this the week to free hit? Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are well and you're looking forward to game week 3. Free hit chat has definitely gained momentum this week. There's been some wildcard chat, there's been free hit chat, and around 10% of all managers on FPL X are looking to free hit. So with that in mind, I thought it was only right to present to you a free hit draft. Now, when we do this on this channel, I like to give my opinion, but not tell you what way to go. And I'm going to lay my cards out on the table. I am not on wildcard. I'm not on free hit. I made a wildcard video yesterday. I'm making a free hit video today based on your requests. Before we look at individuals, we have to look at fixtures and look at the reasons why free hit might be good and why free hit might not be the best thing. So straight away, the positives of free hit. Straight away, are there targetable fixtures? Those that free hit last week went triple Arsenal. They went Gyökeres, they went Saka, they went Arsenal defender, and they were heavily rewarded. Gyökeres captain was huge. There was a massively targetable fixture. You could argue this week there are 3 very targetable fixtures, maybe 2 very obvious ones. Man United versus Burnley, Forest versus West Ham. Surely they are home bankers. But then others might say Chelsea versus Fulham is good, Spurs versus Bournemouth is good. You can back Man City versus Brighton. I've put ticks by 3 of these fixtures with free hit in mind. Like, what teams am I going to double or triple up on? And I think Chelsea, Man United, Forest will be the ones. We'll see my team in a minute. You'll see a lot of players from those 3 teams. You could argue a negative to free hit is there's not enough of these fixtures where it's Arsenal versus Leeds. There's no Arsenal versus Leeds here. There's Man United, Burnley, but that's not quite Arsenal versus Leeds. Like, Man United aren't going for the league title like Arsenal, right? They're not as reliable. But another positive, I should add, Liverpool versus Arsenal. How many players do you have in that fixture already? Many have got 3 or 4 players over those 2 teams. And if we think that could be a bit of a stalemate, a low-scoring affair, hard to predict, maybe you take those teams out of the equation. And on free hit, I wouldn't have any Liverpool. I wouldn't have Mo Salah. I wouldn't have any Arsenal. I think that is a fixture you want to swerve, which is why game week 3 free hit can, of course, work. The other negative I should add, if you're free hitting now, and you've got fires in your team, you come back to game week 4 still with those fires, and that could be players that have already dropped in value. So again, you're left in the international break with a team perhaps you're not so happy with, worth noting. But look, if you're enjoying the video, guys, and you want to show any support for it, please do hit that like button. But most importantly, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I would love you to subscribe today. And if you enjoyed today's video, it will convince you to hit that subscribe button. So look, let's have a look at where this team could land. So 15-player squad. I'm just going to take you first through, like with any free hit, you want to go pretty thin on your at least three of your subs. There has been some surprises in team selection, right? Like we have seen Cole Palmer get injured in the warm-up. We saw Jorginho Rutter out of nowhere, just left out. So with that in mind, I would have one fairly good sub. So I've gone 5.5 million O'Reilly, who could be back on pens at Brighton. I fancy Brighton to score versus Man City at home. And I just think having one good sub option could work. The other options are fodder on the bench, right? It's 4 million Rodon, 4 million Goodmanson, and 4 million Dubravka. But one sub, I think, on free hit is worthwhile, knowing what we've seen even in game week 2. Palmer didn't make it. Rutter didn't make it. We expected these guys to start. Let's go through the key cogs, though. I showed you some fixtures, didn't I? I was like, these are the fixtures we would definitely target. We are going to see Man United, Forest and Chelsea in a big, big way. Now, you could argue there are other teams to target here. This is just my gut, right? So I'm going to go big on a free hit if I was pulling the trigger on those 3 teams. So let's have a look at who I've gone for. So Man United, first and foremost. How do you balance it? Do you go double attack and a defender? No, I'm going to go triple attack. 1, because I don't trust Man United not to concede. But 2, if I just take a step back and go, here's the Man United squad list. Who are the 3 highest scorers against a team like Burnley? Is it a defender where I might get a 6 or I could chance an 8 or a 9? Or is there a higher ceiling with their attackers? The answer is there's a higher ceiling with the attackers because they could go and win 4-5-0. And if they do that, you want the 3 key cogs. And the 3 key cogs in attack from an FPL perspective are Cunha and Burmo and Bruno Fernandes. So put them all in. Just put them all in. Like, you could argue Sesko if he starts. but that's a risk. We don't know if he'll start. If we heard Amram say Sesko was guaranteed to start, you'd put Sesko in as one of the three. 7.5, and he's a forward, gives you more variety up front. But as things stand, Bruno, Cunha, and Burmo, if they score goals, these three are going to be involved. And are we backing Man United to score goals? Look, against Burnley at Old Trafford, they have to. They really, really have to. And there'll be huge pressure on Amorim if he doesn't win that football match. Like, honestly, it's a big, big game because we saw the performance in game week 1 and it was, oh, Man United, they look really good. They've turned a corner. They lost to Arsenal. People forgot that. They just went, performance was good. And it was a fair point. The performance was good. I was impressed with Man United. Game week 2, little bit of regression, like step back a little bit. It was like, okay, this is the United we're used to. They go 1-0 up and then they look soft. And Fulham scored and then there was only going to be one winner. It was going to be Fulham, not Man United. If that game continues, Fulham probably win. So back at Old Trafford, I expect United to score goals and I expect them to be convincing. I would go big on United in a big, big way. And therefore, triple attack would be pretty fun on a free hit. And that is part of the attraction of this free hit. That's a lovely looking 3. I'd probably captain one of those guys as well. Nottingham Forest. Again with Forest, do you go to a Hudson-Odoi or an Ndoye or an Elliot Anderson? Or do you go big at the back? And I think the answer is big at the back. I just feel like this is a bank a clean sheet fixture. And Murillo and Milenkovic might not do too well for DEFCON in this fixture because I expect Forest to dominate the ball. West Ham obviously lost in the week as well. Dreadful for West Ham. Like Potter's under huge pressure. I expect a home win. I expect a clean sheet. And if you get it, you're getting big points from your defenders, but also I expect goals for Forest. And Chris Wood is the easiest pick on free hit. You have to put him in. Now, I played around with this. I had one Forest defender and I thought, chase the upside because, again, a bit like Man United, could they go and score 2, 3, 4 goals? And I think the answer is yes. And if that's the case, do you want more than Chris Wood? The problem I had was I can't see past clean sheet banker, and clean sheet banker fixture is Forest for me this week. I expect Forest to keep a clean sheet as much as any other team in the league. Like, yes, Man United, Burnley's a good fixture. There's a few, but this is the one. And I think double Forest clean sheet just makes complete sense. And obviously, Chris Wood is in there. We're going to see representation here from a few other teams, but you'll see eggs in baskets, right? It's triple United. It's triple Forest. We're about to see triple Chelsea as well without Mr. Cole Palmer. But before we do that, guys, shout out to all my channel members. Thank you so much for the support. I have loads of you that are squad tier members. And if you're a squad tier member, you're accessing like 3 or 4 extra videos a week on this channel. You get priority comments. If you've ever got a question, you comment in one of my videos, I will always get back to channel members with a priority, right? I want to help you with your teams this season, and you can do that by joining the squad. The extra videos on YouTube, of course. If you want to join the WhatsApp group, there's 1 or 2 spots available as an ultra. You can sign up. That's a much more considered purchase, of course. If you do sign up as an ultra, reach out to me on DM and I need to add you to the WhatsApp group. I need your mobile number. If you haven't already checked out Fantasy Football Scout, by the way, this is a free feature on Scout. Get a Scout account. It's free. You don't have to sign up as a member, but you can now view DEFCONs live in their tracker, which is pretty cool. So there's a link in the description to sign up to Scout. You can sign up for free, or you can sign up as a member and access even more stuff. But follow my link. If you do sign up, it gives you extra discount. Description below. Right. Chelsea. I said there was triple Chelsea. And this is a big call because I think one of the attractions with free hit is you can have a little bit of fun with fixtures you want to target. And it's very obvious you would target Forest. It's very obvious you would target Man United. I would also go for Chelsea. I think Chelsea at home to Fulham's a good enough game. And I just think Chelsea off the back of scoring 5 goals against West Ham, you back them. I know against Palace in game week 1, hard home fixture, they struggled. This is also a tricky home fixture against Fulham, the West London derby. But I fancy Chelsea in this one. Cucurella at the back. He offers so much going forward. Even when he's part of a back 3, he seems to get forward. Like in possession in game week 2, he was part of a back 3. In game week 1, he wasn't. He inverted. But he always seems to have a couple of shots a game. João Pedro is flying right now. You've got to go there. And if Cole Palmer's not playing, João Pedro will be on pens. João Pedro could also play the number 10. You could punt on Liam Delap, by the way. If Cole Palmer was out, you could go Delap and João Pedro in this team. But I've gone Esteval. I just think he's loads of fun. And I know he's too much of a gamble in my FPL team because he's not nailed and he's a big rotation risk. But will he start versus Fulham after being player of the match versus West Ham and with Cole Palmer possibly being out? Yeah, he's going to start on that right-hand side. And Esteval is so much fun and he causes defenders so many problems. I think this is part of the charm of the free hit, right? You could have those 1 week guilt-free punts. Now, this is absolutely a 1 week guilt-free punt. Would I pick him on my actual team? No. Could I put him in a free hit team? Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could. So look, I've chosen Chelsea and I like eggs in baskets on free hit. It's all or nothing. It's risky, but if you want to maximize the chip, I think you have to gamble. And I'm gambling here clearly on 3 teams. Now, I want to just go back to those fixtures and look at other teams we could gamble on. Because again, I don't want to suggest that you have to go triple Chelsea. You could go 1 Chelsea and you could go double Tottenham. We haven't spoken about Spurs players and they're not in. Now, I don't always back the bookies, right? The bookies have Tottenham score 1.96 goals and they've got Forest to score 1.67, right? I've got triple Forest and I've got no Spurs. So you look at these projections from the bookies and you don't have to read them as gospel. Like this is a prime example. The bookies fancy Spurs more than they fancy Forest to score goals. I don't. I fancy Forest to outscore Spurs. I think Bournemouth versus Spurs is a potential banana skin. I think Bournemouth actually might cause Spurs some problems, and I don't see that being a high-scoring game. But the bookies do, and that's completely cool. Other fixtures we might want a piece of. I agree with the bookies in terms of low scoring. For Sunderland Brentford, low-scoring game. Wolves Everton, low-scoring game. Liverpool Arsenal, low-scoring game. Like I'm in agreement with them, which is why I'm swerving attackers from all those fixtures. Even Villa Crystal Palace, they've got as low scoring, and I think it probably will be. Leeds Newcastle is hard to read. Newcastle injury problems, but looks so good versus Liverpool. Could you punt on a Harvey Barnes? Maybe you could. Could you punt on an Elanga? Yeah. I don't mind that. But in terms of reliability, it's Man United, it's Forest, it's Chelsea. And for those that perhaps want to, it's Spurs. But where am I going with the other slots? Because we have seen, I've still got a couple of spaces in my 11. So let's get to them. Let's get to them right now. So I showed you the Chelsea. Now let's talk the last 2 spots in this 11. In terms of clean sheet odds, there's one fixture I really fancy for a clean sheet, and that is Wolves to keep a clean sheet versus Everton. Now, Jose Sarr has been given the number 1 spot. There's a lot of chat between him and Johnson, who gets it. Johnson played in the week, but conceded a few. I expect Jose Sarr's going to be number 1 until he has a couple of real nightmare performances, and we've not seen that yet. So Wolves for me versus Everton at Molineux after winning in the Cup on Tuesday night. Wolves, bit of momentum. Everton actually were lucky, I thought, to beat Brighton. And I don't think Everton are going to produce much at Molineux. I think Wolves actually can win this fixture to 0, like a 1-0 win or a 0-0 or a 1-1. It's going to be a low-scoring game. So Jose Sarr I like as an option. And again, you get save points anyway. If I'm wrong, right? If I'm wrong and Everton go and look quite good, Sarr's going to be busy. He gets saves point, whatever. You just got, there's no guarantee with the goalkeeper. Obviously, I could have gone Sells, but then I'm losing one of the defenders from Forest. So Jose Sarr's in. And then up top, of course, we haven't spoken about him, but Erling Haaland is still on free hit. You might not have Salah in your team. You're not going to have a Saka or a Palmer injuries. You can still go Erling Haaland here. And Haaland away to Brighton is not an easy fixture for Man City. But Haaland on his day, we know has the ceiling. It's a no-brainer you pick him. Do you captain him? I don't think you do. I genuinely think for captaincy, you've got 2 main options here. You go to a Man United attacker, take your pick, depending on your risk appetite, depending on whether you like the DEFCON floor of Bruno and the penalties, or you like the ceiling that perhaps Cunha offers you if he plays number 9. But if you think Sesko is going to be the 9, maybe you don't go Cunha, you go in Burmo. There's options there. So that's one option. It's Man United. Option number 2 is a clear standout second option, and it's not Haaland, it's not João Pedro. If you own him, it's Chris Wood. Chris Wood at home to West Ham is a brilliant captaincy option this week. West Ham are so bad. When we talk about targeting teams and playing the fixtures, Forest versus West Ham is absolutely one to do. So that's where I'd go with captaincy. I won't own Chris Wood in my actual team. which is a shame. Guys, if you do one thing today, I would love you to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. If you've enjoyed the video, I'll have another one in 24 hours. Drop a comment below and I will get back to you. See you on the next.